Hey everyone, we're live. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I've seen the amazing chat, like people already saying hi in the chat. It's awesome to have you all here. Thank you so much, Misha, Aridam, Marino. Who else? I've missed so many people. KP, Alex, Satyam. Awesome to have you all here. Thank you so much. We have an exciting, really exciting live stream today. We are going to be contributing to the open source platform GitLab. There's no better way to get real world experience. You can get it firsthand by contributing to a real world open source project, a massive project. And we're joined by Lee, which is going to be awesome because he's going to show us how you all can contribute. And Lee has also kindly brought lots of swag giveaways to do today. So we'll be doing those throughout the live stream. So do stay tuned. So hopefully you all know what GitLab is. It is the open source version of GitHub, and they have so many features. I've been exploring it over the last few weeks or months, and I love so many features that they have. The service desk feature for me is like a game changer. I love how that integrates with the repo because it kind of bridges that gap between people who aren't on GitLab and people who are working on GitLab. So I really love this. Do check that out. Let me know what you think of that. And it's got all the other features that you expect. Project boards, issues, continuous integration, continuous delivery. So definitely go check out GitLab. So on this live stream, I've already mentioned giveaways, contributing to a real world project. And I also want to mention before we let Lee give their introduction is GitLab have their hackathon in 4 days time, 4 days, 10 hours. And it looks super exciting. And there's another way to win more swags. And also, if you contribute to GitLab, if I remember correctly, Lee, but correct me if I'm wrong, that for your first contribution, everyone gets a mug. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is just awesome. So I'm going to share the link to the hackathon in the chat now while Lee is giving themselves an intro and a shout out. So Lee, please go ahead. Over to you.
Yeah. Hi. Really thanks for having me, Eddie. Excited as you are. So I work on the contributor success team at GitLab. So our sole job is to make sure that it's as easy as possible to contribute and to get as many contributors as possible. We're here to help essentially. So what's awesome is I kind of came from contributing to GitLab. So I was using GitLab at work and essentially I've been contributing for 2 or 3 years, joined their core team, and then sort of ended up on this side of the table. So it's been an awesome journey and I look forward to us digging in shortly.
I love that. So you were contributing to GitLab, and that's how you got your role at GitLab to help people contribute to GitLab. Like that's just like
a bit Inception-like.
Yes, it is. It's such an awesome story. You should shout about that more as well. So before we get into the details of contributing, let's make a few more shout outs. We have got a busy live stream today. So more people have joined. I see Toby's here, Santosh is here, Alina is here, Sean, Yash. Too many people to shout out. Praduma, VJ, Carl, Dean. Awesome to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. It really helps support us. So thank you so much. We can do more of these as well. Okay. So Lee, how shall we get started?
So I guess not too long before you maybe want to mention Duo and how you built your beautiful spinning wheel.
Sure.
I don't know if you wanted to set a time for when you're going to do the first giveaway or how you want to play that.
Let me show the demo, and this is how we'll do the giveaways. Okay, so Lee's definitely putting me on the spot, but let's go for it. Right. Let me bring my screen back. I've got the code for what I built with GitLab Duo. So those of you who haven't used GitLab Duo, it's an AI tool to help you code, and I love the features. I really do, because you can ask it questions, and I've got a video on this on my channel as well. And then I love it how you can highlight things and say explain it to me. You can even say refactor it. It's just awesome. I'm not doing it justice. Check out that video. And in that video I actually built I did a test just now because I've changed the project IDs and it's just got me. And actually, let's just do a run through of how the giveaways will work. It gives you time to get familiar with it, so you don't miss out. Because when I did the giveaways with Michael, some people missed out because they weren't sure how it works. This is a practice run. We're not doing giveaway just yet. You got to contribute a little bit to some open source first, but let's do it. So what we'll do is this is the repo for the project on GitLab, and what I will do is I will create an issue. So let me create a new issue, and I'm going to share the link with all of you. You just need to comment just hello to be involved, but I want to make it a bit harder than that for just a little bit for the actual real giveaways. But we'll just say test giveaway. This is the issue, and I'll just say comment anything below. There we go. So I'm going to create this issue. So this is a really good test. Like I said, it's a test one. So I'm going to share this link. Let's just check it all works. So
I always worry if things work first time. So I always expect a small hiccup.
So I've shared that in the chat. Please put in a comment, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab the issue number in the code, and I'm going to change this to number 3, and I'm going to hit save, and then I will refresh the app, and everyone who comments will appear in this list, and then after 10 seconds it will pick a winner. And the interesting thing is, in my video that you'll see that I created on this, is I had a vision of what I wanted to build, and it was quite basic, and it actually turned out a lot better using GitLab Duo, which I thought was hilarious because I don't know, I've always found in the past when you have a vision and you actually build it, it turns out usually worse. So I was super impressed for it to turn out better. So yes, there's still room for improvements, and feel free to contribute. But let's see if we've got some comments coming in. We have, okay, Yash, we've got Lee, Satyam, Praduma, Joseph, thank you all for commenting. Music as well. So let's give this a refresh, and it should list the people. It does not. Why not, Eddie? What have I broken? I tested this before. Okay, that's interesting. Let me
did you need to? I see there's an issue ID of 3 in there. Do you need to update that?
Did I do the wrong issue? Oh, it's 6. Sorry. Yes, I meant to put 6. Thank you. Issue 3 is probably closed. Okay.
It's a guess.
Yes. Oh, we've got more. No, you're right. You're right. Okay, let's try again. Refresh. That's looking better. So this is how it will work. Remember, this is a test one. And I'll give people a bit more time to fill it in because I can still hear the notifications coming through my headphones. Absolutely. So, but you see, and then it goes through it, and then it picks a winner. So, what are some of the things that people can win? Do you want to explain a little bit more about that, Lee? But thank you so much for fixing my bug with the issue number.
Absolutely, yeah. So on our lovely swag store. So first of all, we do offer alternatives. So I love the brand and the merch, but if you are a little bit more greener, we do offer to plant trees as an alternative, which is awesome initiative we started a while back. I will drop, assuming I know how to. I'll drop a link there. And yeah, so we got some t-shirts, we got umbrellas, hoodies, stickers, backpacks, glasses, mugs, power bank, plenty of stuff in our swag store for you to pick up.
Loads. I can see it now. It's awesome. Okay, perfect. So I know people will be super excited about that. And
I suppose I should just like, this is one of my old views that I'm rocking today.
Music stories. Remember, it was a test. I put it in the issue title. That was just a test. We will do the real one shortly. We've just started the live stream and we're just getting warmed up. Okay, perfect. So shall I share Lee's screen now, who's going to take us through some real world contributions? Let me know when you're ready, Lee.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a bit daunting because I lose sight of you now, but you can point me in the right direction.
No worries. And if I bring up any questions on the screen, I will read them out as well, so you won't miss it. Don't worry.
Perfect. So if you can see my screen now, I've opened up the first contribution guide.
We see GitLab. We see StreamYard. Sorry.
Oh. that's not good. So
we'll give you a moment to fix that. I'll give some more shout outs while you're doing that. So we've also got Olivia. I always pronounce your name wrong. I'm so sorry, but thank you for being here. Kutessa, awesome to have you here. And I mentioned Carl already, I think. Dhruv is here. Hope you had a good holiday, Carl, as well. I'm going to pronounce some names really badly, so apologies. But awesome to have you here. Okay, so Lee, let me know if you're ready, and I'll pass back to your screen.
Yeah, give it another try. It should have worked before. But
yes, now it works. We see it. Okay,
awesome,
perfect.
awesome. So this is where I should have been. So our docs are really thorough, which is awesome. So we've got great guides on how to get started contributing. On something we've made some changes to recently, we have a bunch of community forks that don't want to go into all the details, but it makes it a lot easier to contribute. So if you request access to those community forks, we will automatically create you an onboarding issue. And that suggests some issues that you could work on, or it opens a dialogue essentially, so we can start those conversations and we can provide you the support you need. So this is a great place to start. It tells you about the different ways to contribute using the web IDE or a cloud development environment like Gitpod, or in fact a local development environment. And our local development environment is called GDK, or the GitLab Development Kit. So we do have a couple of really nice issues for new contributors. We do ask that you only pick one of these up if you do want to get started. So there's plenty to go around. This one was created really recent. I thought so 3 years ago, but has been curated, let's say, recently. So we've got a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet has a whole list of documentation where the alt text of an image in documentation isn't up to scratch for whatever reason. And we just need to pour through all of these and improve the alt text essentially. So these are really simple ones that can be done in the web IDE. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to find a file, open it in the web IDE.
Nice.
It'll take a couple of seconds to load the entire repo.
No worries. While we're waiting, everyone, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. How are we doing on numbers on the thumbs up? We've got about 30 people online at the moment, and hopefully we've got about, 60 thumbs up by now. We should do giveaways at like thumbs up milestones sort of thing, I think, maybe. What do you think?
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. So I could just make the changes here. I could create a new branch, create a new merge request, and we're good to go. But I wanted to do something a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting, maybe pushing us a bit harder, putting me on the spot a little bit. So let's hope it goes to plan.
Well, we're all here to help, just like you helped fix my little bug earlier with the issue number. We're all here to help. So we've got a lot of smart people in the audience as well. So thanks everyone for being here. Did you want to share any links to any of these issues so people can also have a look at them?
Yeah, what's the easiest way to...
We have a private chat in StreamYard. If that's easier for you, you can drop it to me and I can then drop it in if that's easier.
So I've got this one here. Okay, if I jump over them, hopefully you're not going to see anything top secret when I drop that in. And that's probably the primary one, because that's how to get started as a contributor. Okay, but then we've got the issue for documentation. So if you're not comfortable with JavaScript, Ruby on Rails, whatever it might be, there are plenty of other ways to contribute. There's translations and design and all sorts, but that's a really nice one, documentation. So
okay, I'm gonna keep sharing those, I think, through the
live stream.
So
the most recent link that I shared. So this one, I hope's more in your I don't know, realm, if that's the right word, Eddie. Didn't want to scare you with too much Ruby, but
yes,
a front end issue here, which again I hope, but I know it's famous last words. Just moving some buttons. So we've got our pajamas. We refer to them as our design guidelines, design documentation. Pajamas design system, and it's awesome. It really kind of spells out exactly how everything should look and feel and work and interact. And the guidelines state that when we use what's called a draw, so a draw is when we have something pop out here on the right hand side, that the actions, the buttons, should live on the left or left aligned. And we have a few instances where they're actually on the right. And I thought that should be quite simple. So let's have a go at trying to fix that. So I've shared the link to the issue there. There has already been one place where it's been fixed. So I know we've all got our different kind of approaches to how we attack things, but I love to look if somebody's kind of solved this problem before.
Definitely. And you can keep it consistent as well.
Exactly. If there's a formula that I can kind of rinse and repeat, then brilliant. And in this instance, it looks like it looks a bit red. I think it's just because this has been split onto multiple lines mainly, but I suspect the key change here is simply removing this class from this div. Other than that, yeah, I doubt there's a great deal change. So we'll kind of dig in and we'll see if we can find the code that's responsible for rendering this, and see if it's got that same class and kind of go from there.
Sounds good. Produma spotted you use light mode, like himself and myself. We use light mode as well. So
in GitLab, yeah, that's interesting. I don't really know why I do either. It's
I do the same as well. I don't know why. I just love it in light mode.
You'll see that I don't in most other things. Yes. So yeah, I don't know why. I think we are maybe still in like beta or experimental for dark mode. So some things aren't quite perfect yet, but I just haven't got around to switching.
Just a question, Lee. Can you zoom in a bit on the text? They're saying it's quite small.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go up to.
So thank you so much.
Hopefully that
perfect. Thank you.
Remind me if I need to do that on some of the other tabs when I'm jumping back and forward. And you'll probably have to explain how I do it in Visual Studio Code as well, because I don't believe I've changed the zoom in there before.
Oh, I just use the plus and minus signs. On the Mac, it's Command and plus, but I don't know on a...
Beautiful. Yeah, hopefully they'll be that easy then. So this is, I'm running the GitLab development kit, the development environment locally. You can kind of see that I've basically got my own little private GitLab running on this laptop. And I'm kind of free to hack away at it, mess around with the data, do whatever I want, which is great. And yeah, let's figure out what this component is. So because we use Vue.js in the front end, I love Vue DevTools. And Vue DevTools will hopefully give me the ability to kind of drill down and figure out which component somewhere. So we've kind of got a bit of a hierarchy here, and I can see that there's a CRM form and a contact form wrapper. So I'm going to try and look for a CRM form in VS Code. So, that's convenient, isn't it? Most
you can read your mind. GitLab Duo to the rescue.
Let me try that. Oh, yeah, that looks a bit better as well, does it now? Zoomed in
maybe one more? Like zoom in one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Let's just move some.
Vue's getting a shout out from Santosh.
Awesome. I must admit, I love it, but then I haven't used React or Angular or any of the, I shouldn't call them competition, but you know what I mean, the alternatives. So I'm sure some people do favor some of the others.
I haven't used Vue. I've used Angular, React, and so
Okay. Maybe I can convert you, or you might say, well, it looks very similar.
It does look quite similar, and I hear people rave about Vue. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
So it looks like we've got a slightly different, what do you call it, CSS approach here. We're not using like flex blocks. I can't remember what was it before? Yeah, the GL justify content end class. We're just using GL float right. So I guess I'm going to start by just getting rid of that and see what it does. And I may be tempted, if that works, just to push that up and ask the reviewers and the maintainers for some feedback as to whether we would prefer to make it match this style more. I use a flex box or GL display flex, or whether we're happy to keep it as is. It might be nice to make it consistent.
I really like that. That's such a good point, that I think people, I always find people think they need to add something to add value. And a lot of the time, taking away something is also, not a lot of the time, all the time is also adding value. And so I find people, just want to keep adding stuff to it. And that if they can do what you said, like check by removing it, does it still work? And if so, then that's still a valid option. In my opinion, a better option, unless there's another reason why you would need something. So
yeah. And that's the great thing. Like there's the team. I want to say there's 2,000 plus team members at GitLab, and
wow.
500 plus engineers. So they're all ready to help guide you through the process. So one thing that I just spotted there is on this one, what I noticed is that as well as moving from the right to the left, we've kind of reordered as well. So previously the rightmost was the primary action, and now the leftmost is the primary action. So as well as sort of moving these from the right to the left, which we've ticked, we need to actually flip the order of these buttons as well. So again, I really hope and expect that this is going to be as simple as, I shouldn't say it, should I? But,
famous last words.
Absolutely. So give it a reload again. That's looking promising. I guess we'll actually give it a proper run for its money. And try the form out. Looks like that's enough to save. And am I now in there? Yes, I am. So what's also interesting is I happen to know that this form is used 3 or 4 different times. So we've actually got for creating a new contact. We've got for editing a contact. And we've also got for creating a new organization and editing a new organization. Now, hopefully you spotted there. Forgive me, feel free to slow me down a bit if you need to, Eddie. But
no, all is good. And I love it how you're checking where else it's used. It's so important. I find a lot of people just fix that one area and they don't do like a search of the code base just to see if it's used anywhere else.
So I'll probably stick to like this CRM area, because we do like to keep our merge requests fairly small, and it will also be a really good opportunity if we do find any more. And in fact, we will have a little look, and if we find any, maybe we'll share them out. So
lovely, love that.
The viewers can jump on. But we'll probably stick to CRM. But as I say, there's definitely four usages of this form within the CRM area. So what's awesome there is we can see it must be the same component that's being used for edit and new, because the buttons have already moved for the edit one. So that's a great start. We'll hop on to organizations and see if the same is true for that. Okay, so new organization. Yep, looks good. Again, I'll just try and create one and make sure nothing seems to be broken. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, great. So I think I'll go as far as creating a branch and talking just a little bit more about some of the kind of nuances and hooks and various other bits and pieces. Because the MR process, I know when I've contributed to other open source projects, they tend to have been a lot smaller, and I raise a pull request or a merge request, and generally I just kind of ping the maintainer, and it's that straightforward. So with a GitLab project, it's a little bit more complex. So the first thing we've got is a bit of a pattern. So the branch name, if we start with the issue number, it makes some things a little bit easier and automates some adding of labels and stuff like that. So I'm going to check that I haven't got any spurious stuff. This is where you can teach me a thing or two, Eddie, because I'm sure you'll have a few of your own quirks about how you do various bits and pieces and commands that you do and don't use. But yeah, I would check that I haven't accidentally, because it wouldn't be the first time I've been working on another branch and made some changes and then realized that actually I've included stuff that I shouldn't have. But I'm on master, and the only change I've got is definitely
always check. It's definitely worth it. Absolutely. It just saves so much. I don't know, I find sometimes people try to save 10 seconds of checking now, but then later on it causes a lot more work for multiple people, the author as well as the maintainers reviewing.
Absolutely. And have I spelled pajamas right? Let's hope I have. So the branch name itself, like the prefix is important with that issue number there, but the rest of it's not overly important. So the commit message is a little bit, but because this is, what would I call this? A quality of life improvement, maybe. And I'm not sort of fussed about this going into a change log or me getting credit for it. So if for all community contributions, we love you to include the changelog trailer. And I will quickly Google that. Changelog trailer.
Okay, this is new to me, so this is going to be interesting. So I look forward to seeing this.
Awesome.
Because I use conventional commit messages, so I do the fix, cool. The feet and so forth.
Yeah, that's that way you put them in brackets and then
at the beginning. So we do fix
we've got a project or a few projects that use that. It'd be great if they do all sort of align at some point, but I'm most familiar with the monolith. So yeah, the changelog trailer is really awesome. I'll try not to get sidetracked. Later on, we can have a look if we want to. But you can use this to automatically generate your change logs when you do tags and releases, etc. Or put all the commits based on that change log, and then create a nice, pretty change log essentially with sections for the various change log, what do I call them, types. So yeah, but all community contributions, definitely recommend you put that in. It'll make sure that your contribution goes in the change log and you get a mention there, which is great. For this, you know, as a team member, and the fact that it's as I say, very small quality of life tweak, I'm not going to include a change log trailer. And I'm just going to say move CRM draw buttons, or actually probably align rather than move. Align.
Writing commit messages is so hard because you want it to be concise but descriptive at the same time.
Absolutely. And I don't remember setting this up. I think this is some magic because the GitLab repo maybe has some config files, but we can see we've got 50 character, I think it is, and 72 character sort of lines. So if I had have gone any further, I would have moved down and explained more in the body. But I think that covers enough here. So we'll keep that align CRM draw buttons on the left to be pajamas compliant. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, we've got a bunch of pre-commit hooks, which check various kind of linting and secrets and other bits and pieces. And then we have some more hooks that will run when I do the push as well, which is really awesome because our pipeline now is, you know, depending on what you're changing and which tests are going to run, it can take an hour to run the CI.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you realize that you've I don't know, left a white space at the end of a line, or something really trivial. Even if you've forgotten to internationalize is the term we use. I'm hoping I've got some in here somewhere.
But it's always worth just checking these things beforehand, like you said, because later on it's more costly to do it later on. And by costly, I mean like in terms of time and so forth. So
that's it. It's the context switching. I push this, I then move on to something else, and then I get an email in sort of 15 minutes time when I'm deep in some debugging that, actually the pipeline's failed for whatever reason. So
exactly.
These hooks are great, and ensure a lot of let's say the boxes are ticked, that we're kind of complying with all these linting rules, and we've not slipped any secrets in there, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, secrets are even harder to fix because nothing's ever really gone. So
Absolutely.
yes, it's super true. People need to be really, really careful.
So I can't recall if all platforms do the same. Eddie, maybe you can confirm. But after pushing that new branch, we get a link to raise a merge request.
Nice.
So
Lee, we lost your audio. We have got a humming sound. So I'm just going to mute you for a second. Okay, I've just muted Lee for a moment. We don't blow our eardrums. And while Lee's just going to fix that, everyone, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Check out the links in the description below. GitLab has a hackathon coming up in a few days. I'd love for you to take part. Any questions on what we're doing, do let us know in the chat. And thank you, Alex, for answering questions about GitLab platform. Right, Lee, you've unmuted. There's no humming noise. I think you're back.
Turned it off and on again. Is that good?
That is good. We're back.
Perfect. Thanks, Eddie. So I didn't even have to figure out where to come to raise that merge request. I got the response in the terminal, and I can crack on now. So it looks like it's used my commit message as the subject of the merge request, which is perfect, and our default MR template is in there. So I'm probably going to copy that yet again onto here, and what we'll see has happened is, because we put that issue ID at the beginning of the branch name, it's automatically added this note. Nice. At the end. Unfortunately, I want it to be at the top, so I'm just going to pop that, and we've got these cool what we call them, markdown shortcuts to link to the issue, and by putting that plus there, we'll see when we preview it, we get the whole the whole description name, and it will say whether it's open or closed and a few other bits. So first of all, what does it do and why? So this is the what and the why. I think we're aligning the buttons on the left and the why to be pajamas compliant. And absolutely linking back to an issue. We can have merge requests without issues, but there might be certain instances there's more likely to be a question as to why we're doing this. I'm not going to jump into the MR checklist, but please feel free at your leisure. Screenshots. So let's do it. I might just zoom out to do those. So let me go back to 100%, get rid of my WhatsApp and company. So I'm going to do, I think that's enough context, in all honesty. I don't think we need to do the whole screen.
Sometimes I find people screenshot too big, and then you're trying to see what they're referring to, and sometimes people screenshot too small, where they might just screenshot the buttons, and it's like, well, I need the context of where those buttons are taken from. So it's finding that balance, I think, is really, really important.
Absolutely. And we'll come to something interesting in a minute, because we've basically got the recreation steps in a Mo. So I think if we didn't have those, then I probably would have screenshotted the whole, including the URL and some other bits and pieces. But because we're going to add the recreation steps to the merge request, now I seem to have broken it, don't I? There we go.
No worries. Well, just to give everyone a heads up, thank you for being patient. This is great to see a real world contribution by Lee. And I think afterwards we'll answer Praduma's questions in the chat, and then we'll do a giveaway. So stay tuned. How many thumbs up do we have now? We must have at least 50 by now. Come on, we can't lower our standards below 50.
Right. So I'm doing all 4 screenshots just to be super duper.
I love that. I think that's so important as well. People just do one. Like, the rest are the same. It's like, no, where are the screenshots? Let's see it. So
one of them. And just so when I do the before ones in a minute, I'm just making a quick note here of what each of these ones is, so I don't paste the wrong ones in the wrong places.
Sure, no worries. And it's great to see other people do this, because when we do it, sometimes we think, I'm doing it wrong, I'm taking too long, I'm really slow. And it's just like it does take time, and it's just as important as the code changes. I think everyone seems to think, well, not everyone, but a lot of people seem to think that the code changes are the most important part. But because there are other people involved, it's the communication via the MR, via the issue, the screenshots and so forth. So it's really, really important.
100%. Yeah, that is definitely true of a change like this, which is, 2-3 lines of code. Is so much more than just that kind of the code change, which obviously we could have done in the web IDE, but we would have had no idea if it worked. So
exactly.
We're going backwards hopefully this time. So we've got the before for edit contact. We'll do the before for.
And what I might do while you're doing that, if it's okay with you, Lee, I might create the new issue for the giveaway, give people time to fill it out. What do you think? What does everyone think, and who's watching, who's still here, who's had the patience to stick around? Shall I do that? Should we start the issue going? Can you give you a bit of time? Give everyone.
I hope it hasn't been too scary, contribution. I thought that was quite nice and easy in a sim, right?
Yeah, I think it wasn't too bad. I think it was too bad. It was good. Okay, so
one last one.
I might close the other issue. But I am thinking of asking, rather than just asking people to comment and say hello, I'm thinking of asking people a question, like what's their favorite GitLab feature or something like that.
That sounds interesting.
Okay, cool. So we'll say giveaway one.
So you said yours was Service Desk, right?
Yeah, because for me, it's like, I don't want to use a third-party product. I love it how it's just all in there, and I don't have to have a GitLab account to like, the user might not be a techie person of the SaaS product, for example, but for them to be able to, and I don't want things coming in via email. Like, I love the idea. I haven't used it yet, but reading the docs about it, I'm just like, that's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, love it. And it's really interesting you mentioned Service Desk, because that's an area that's really kind of close to my heart, that I spent a lot of time contributing to, before I joined.
That's awesome.
And the CRM, which coincidentally we've just kind of fixed this drawer, the pajamas alignment, etc. for this drawer. That feature I actually built from the ground up. So,
that's awesome.
And that's the aim is the company where I was before wanted to get off of that kind of help desk and ticketing, like service desk solution. They had all of that source code in GitLab and all of the merge requests and Maven repositories and NuGet repositories and all sorts of stuff, CI/CD. But they had this separate sort of service desk help desk system, and it was really clunky working with the two sort of side by side. I kind of reached out to the relevant product manager and said, hey, like, do you want a CRM in GitLab? And we started building it.
That's amazing. That is awesome. That is so cool. I love that. That's open source and community and power. I love that. I do even have a banner thing that says collaboration first, code second.
Love it. So where I've got to, shout if you need me to stop because you're doing
No,
the
no,
issue.
yours is more important. Do yours first.
Well, I feel like we're close on this one now. So the last kind of heading is how to set up and validate. So all I want to do here is visit a group's CRM contacts page, and then I'll just provide an example link. So this one is actually organizations. So let's do another one. Visit groups CRM organizations page as an example. Cheap because that's got to be right. And select, was it new or add or new organization or new contact? Contact. That's all they need to do. I guess that's one. And select the pencil to edit an existing contact. And that one. Then we can do rinse, repeat. So in some scenarios here, you'd have to have like steps to enable a feature or seed some data or whatever it might be. But this one's pretty good because we have seed data in the GDK straight away, the development kit organization. So I think we're pretty good there. Now, one important thing here is because I'm a team member, I've got developer access to the project. So it allows me to add a milestone, add labels, assign, do all sorts of cool stuff. For community contributors, now I want to find, here's one we prepared earlier, don't we? Let's find a community contribution. We lean on bots a little bit for empowering, if that's the right word. So to allow the wider community to add labels and to assign a merge request for review, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try and find one, go back a little bit. So as soon as your merge request goes up, you'll get the bot thanking you for your contribution and telling you some of the commands you can use to reach out for help once you're ready for someone to review, and also, how to add labels. And there's a link there to give some more details. So I will see if, perfect example. Ben here, part of our core team, and he's kind of marked this as ready, which is then applied a relevant label. It's assigned a reviewer, and away you go. So there we go. And meanwhile, my merge request now, the pipeline should be in the process of getting created, and potentially by the end of the stream, we'll see whether it's green or not, whether we broke anything.
Awesome. That's I love that. And Produma said they've started recording videos to add to MR, like screen recordings. It's a great way to demo and communicate, and I love that.
That's a really good point, actually. Saved me having done those, 4 screenshots, explained where to go and what to click. I could have just, what was it on the Mac, Command Shift and 5, I think, and I could have just recorded those steps. I'll give myself a little kick there for not for not doing that.
No, it's fine. Sometimes we just need a reminder. I think that's all. I know I always do for various things as well. Actually, we've got another question from Produma for you, Lee, if that's okay.
Try me, yeah.
Let's go. So Produma asks, what are your thoughts on conventional changelog that we use, for example, in EdiHub and a lot of other people, versus the way you do things in GitLab?
So I guess I'm not overly opinionated on it, because the smaller open source projects, when I've contributed upstream, they generally, I think there's only one I recall having like a rejected commit because I hadn't followed the convention. So I'm kind of deeply ingrained and used to the GitLab convention. But I would like to, I know we've got GitLab UI, which is like our component library, and that does use conventional commits.
Okay.
So like it would be nice to see it aligned in the future, but it's probably a question I'd have to ask a wider audience to understand if there's something preventing us from doing that. Yeah, which I'm not sure off the top, but it possibly is just purely through this. I guess the conventional commit format with the sort of prefix here wouldn't be able to generate these automated change logs. But then I guess I could argue, well, maybe we should improve this changelog generation to be able to handle conventional commits. Someone feel free to search. There might already be an issue on GitLab for that. So.
Okay, well, I'm going to steal the screen share.
Please do, yeah.
And I'm going to share mine. And we've got the giveaway one. Has everyone entered? I see we have got quite a few comments. Kutessa was first. We've got Alex, Alina. I've commented as well. You know, I want some GitLab swag. I haven't got a sticker on my laptop to say GitLab, so I really want that. And they have an amazing grey hat. Hint, hint. Yes, I see lots of people joining in, so it's great. Oh, a few more coming in as well. Okay, cool. Like that. Okay, some people forgot, so I'm glad I re-mentioned it. And we've only got 8 more thumbs up to reach 50, so don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Okay, I think. What do you think, Lee? Should we run it?
Let's do it.
Okay, so I've got the wrong issue number. That was the previous one. So 7. So that's the right issue number. I should do a form for this, actually. Maybe we can improve this for the next live stream and have a bit of a form as well. Okay, so if I go to that tab and I want to refresh the page, it's probably refreshed already, but I'm actually going to refresh it again, if that makes sense.
So I'm guessing you haven't published this yet. I think you've pushed it to a repo, right? But you haven't deployed it as such. Is that right?
I haven't. No, I am quite keen to, but I wanted to put a form on it so people could then just more easily put in the
project. Yeah, absolutely.
Project ID. You don't have to change the code. So, and then multiple people could then use it at the same time, right? If it's deployed and they're using a form, then multiple people could use it. Absolutely. So that's the idea. And then I thought you could extend it further later on, where people maybe you could log in with GitLab. OAuth style, and then you can just have a history of winners, because sometimes you want to refer back to who the winner was.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I know we've done some admin beforehand, but the way that we actually do our sort of swag rewards recognition is via GitLab. So what we'll do is me or you can reply to whoever wins. And basically it will create me a to-do. And then I can kind of take care of the admin afterwards, so to speak, to kind of get that swag out there.
Yeah.
Or trees, if someone decides to go for trees.
Yeah, hopefully some people can decide to go for trees. So let's just run this. Do you want to let them know how much they have got? You said about points, I think.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to remind myself. I seem to recall, did we say, or... So you can't actually see on here. There's a different link. We've got like a community store as opposed to this public store. That's got the points listed on there. I'll drop that link in.
Yeah, please do, and I will use that. Let's have a look. Perfect. Don't worry, Yash. We will refresh. I'll note that tab and refresh, so no one can miss out.
So that's our start there, and I will.
Okay, let me bring the store up. Here we go. Let's have a look. Here's the store. Oh, yeah, you have got an umbrella. Cool. Chopping board. That's so cool.
Yeah, so we've got exclusive swag. This is different, but exclusive.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's run this. Are we ready to run it? So it's 100 points, if I remember correctly, per giveaway.
I'm just going to get that up to confirm. Yeah, I think it might thought we might have done a tiny bit more.
I think you did a bit more, actually. No, you're right. You're right.
I think it's 200 points,
200 points per giveaway. Okay.
Now
wow.
you're going to have to hold me to that as well, aren't
No,
you?
I think you're right, actually. That rings a bell. 200
I think
points.
it allows, it means the most expensive item in there is 160 points.
Yes.
So it'll allow you to get something like a backpack, but still have a bit of change for a t-shirt or some stickers or something.
That's so cool. Okay, awesome. I love that. Let's do it. Okay, ignore what's displayed on the screen when I click on this tab, everyone. I'm going to refresh it. Okay, let's refresh. Here we go. Countdown. Drum roll. I think that's the same, right, people? Yes, I see Kutesa on there, Alex. Let's have a look. Alina, woo!
Love
Congratulations. Let me take a screenshot of that, and then I'll drop it in the issue.
I think you are going to have to add the drum roll for next time, right?
Yeah, I think in StreamYard there is a drum roll, but I don't know how it sounds. So, Alina, let me say, do like a ta-da.
Yeah, and if
congrats, and then we'll do that. So I think hopefully Alina is still here. And upload. Yeah, here we go. I can just upload the screenshot to show it for the first giveaway.
Awesome, love that.
There we go. Perfect. Do I need to press anything, or is that press upload? Oh no. I think that's it. I don't think I've actually ever uploaded anything. As you drag and drop, that's why.
Let me have a look.
Does that appear, everyone? I don't need to press anything, do I?
Giveaway number 1. There it is. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So congratulations. Well done. Hey, Alina's here. Awesome. Cool. Perfect. I love it how everyone's saying congratulations as well. Love the community support. Again, and Alina says she signed up on GitLab today. So yes,
Excellent.
perfect. It's there. Thank you, Melanie, for checking as well. I appreciate that. Love that. Oh, Melanie signed up today as well. Awesome. Cool.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Okay. We do have 2 more giveaways to give away, so stay tuned. So we will have some more coming. Okay. We've been almost going for an hour. Wow. Time goes.
Yeah, it has flown. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's mention the hackathon real quick, and then we'll pass back to Lee. I think if Lee's still got energy to keep going. Everyone, don't forget to sign up to the GitLab Hackathon as well. It's in just over 4 days. Looks super, super exciting. It's a great way to contribute to open source project, collaborate with amazing people. Just, don't be scared. Any questions, do ask. It's super, super awesome. So yes, do have a read through the link and let us know.
I think that collaboration thing can't be stressed enough. It's definitely, as I said before, it opened the door to allow me to build functionality into GitLab that I needed for my company at the time. But also I took so much back in terms of learning, different ways of doing code review and approval processes, and just kind of learning from other engineers essentially.
It's the best way to learn.
Commercial, I always say when I'm speaking to students or people that are looking for work, etc., it's rather than building whatever it might be, your app for your CD collection or whatever we used to do back in our school days,
to-do list or whatever. Yes.
Yeah, why not contribute to something that's out there?
Exactly, a real world project. I mean, it's such an amazing experience to get and something to put on your resume to say, I didn't just create a to-do app, I actually contributed to a real world project that is being used by hundreds of thousands of people and companies. So I think that's just awesome. Okay, first giveaway done, 2 more to go. Lee, what would you like to do next?
So I'm probably going to pick up a tiny little back-end one, which I'll drop in the chat as well. I'll just find the link. If I assume I haven't shared. No, I don't think I've on this one yet either. Small little back-end one. I'm going to mention I'm going to call it the Hackathon leaderboard or merge request leaderboard. So Do you mind passing the
I will
screen
pass you back your screen. Absolutely. Yash, I think Alex answered your question about the Python. It's mostly, I can try and scroll back and find it, but I saw Ruby and Go on the back end.
Yeah. So the monolith, as we call it, the main GitLab application is Ruby on Rails in the back end, and then Vue.js, essentially JavaScript on the front end. But we do have a bunch of what we kind of call satellite projects. So the GitLab runner that was responsible for CI, the Terraform provider, a bunch of security projects. There's a lot of other stuff, the CLI, GitLab CLI. So there's loads of opportunities for Golang as well. For other languages, we've got things like project templates that always need contributions. We've got things like CI, the CI catalog now as well. So we're sort of really excited about having the CI catalog with the opportunity for anyone to contribute components. So if you potentially use GitLab, but you work with C# or Python or whatever language it might be, you can share your CI components with everyone.
Lee, I have a question from Kutesa, which I think is a great question about the hackathon. Are there any requirements for participation?
Not really. So the link I know you've shared, it calls out all of the details. The main things are that there's two groups on GitLab.com. And if you make any merge request within those groups, then you're eligible. There's some timings which are definitely mentioned on here somewhere. So basically, you have to submit your merge request next week. So it's from Monday the 26th until Sunday the 2nd of September. So it has to be submitted next week, or sorry, created would probably be a better term. The merge request has to be created. But then we've got like a whole month until October the 3rd for, the review process and back and forth with the GitLab team, etc. So you've got a week to get anything up. It could be a work in progress, a draft. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
And then a month after that to get it merged.
I've got a question actually. Oh, sorry, carry on, Lee. No, carry on.
No, please fire away.
What about if it's a slightly bigger issue? What about people pairing on it? Can two people work on the same, I suppose, issue and merge request?
It's a great question. We haven't really got support within our tooling, but I'd definitely be happy to, if someone reached out to me and sort of said that they had collaborated on something, then I'd be happy to kind of manually award that, if that makes sense. Okay. We really want to encourage more of that going forwards. We used to say to pick up an issue, filter for issues which aren't assigned and do this and do that. Whereas now we're kind of more, well, okay, if an issue is assigned, why don't you ping the person who it's assigned to and ask them if they're actively working on it? If they're not, maybe you could take it. If they are, maybe you can collaborate.
All I would say on that, everyone, is ask in the issue in public, because there's nothing worse than someone getting kind of 20 DMs about it. Whereas and then look at the history. So if someone asked, like literally yesterday, and the person replied and said, yes, I am working on it, I'm almost done, then there's no point kind of chasing them and saying, are you working on it? To definitely read their history, I think is really, really important.
Absolutely. Yep. So yeah, the reason I just, this sprung to mind is because of your roulette, your competition winner picker, or whatever it might be. This was a very similar brainchild. So during the hackathon, we used to have no real way of kind of real time seeing what was happening, and it was quite a hard and manual process at the end to tally up all the scores. Okay. So because GitLab's Vue.js, I used Vue.js, but I built this. The source, as always, is on GitLab. It just uses the GitLab API to pull the data, and it gives us the ability to kind of do a real-time leaderboard. So
that's awesome.
We've got, we can look at so we could look at the last hackathon, for example. But it can be used just to see sort of monthly contributions as well. But so this will pull all the data from the API. and show you the number of points that everyone got in the hackathon, and then we can sort of expand it and see the details of what was contributed.
That's awesome. I really, really like that. That's a cool project. I think that's great.
Yeah, and I'd love eventually to get something like this in the product within GitLab itself, but as a sort of more quick and dirty, let's call it, it is great, and it solves that problem that we had. So yeah,
that's really good. And Praduma was saying last year Hacktoberfest was awesome with GitLab. Had a really good experience, so it's great to hear that. And Alex mentions that there are weekly community pairing events in GitLab's Discord. Wow, that's so cool. I mean, that
thanks for being one step ahead of me. Like it started as me and another core team member, like a private thing, and then we said, well, hey, let's just open it up and make it public. And then we've had more core team members and more members of the community. And yeah, it's a regular weekly thing. At the moment, it's at a bizarre time of 11:15 UTC on a Tuesday, but we are totally open. So the Discord event, and in fact, I'll add the so discord.gg/GitLab. I'll share that with you quickly so you can share that. Again, the Discord link's on the hackathon page. It's on the getting started contribution page. It's also on when you request access to the community forks. It'll be in your onboarding issue. Nice. So we try and give you all that information. But yeah, we do ad hoc sessions as well. So if anyone comes on with a specific problem, even I had a team member reach out, I think on Monday, they're having some problems with GraphQL. And I said to them, hey, is it cool if we stream this? And I streamed it on the community Discord. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I love the fact that it's open source and open core, and we can pretty much share everything we do.
And the transparency of your documentation, your meetings, like it's just very, very cool. I definitely like the vibe of everything being transparent.
It's a great way to be able to work, like not having to kind of stress about like, oh, I'm allowed to tell you about this, or yes. Is this a secret? Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So I was going to potentially jump onto a Ruby, a backend one.
Go for it.
Just the time. Great.
Go for it. We'll do that, and then we'll do another giveaway afterwards.
Sounds perfect. We maybe won't spend the time of raising the merge request for this one. Maybe I'll just demonstrate like what needs to be done.
Sure.
So a bit like the documentation one, we've got a really great kind of reproducible or one that like everyone can contribute to here. So RubyCop, if you haven't heard of it, it's a Ruby linter. I hope I've used that terminology correctly. And as we've enabled new rules or introduced RubyCop over the years, we've essentially created a bunch of exceptions. So I'm going to try and find an example of that now. So this is what I said I would always forget before. So we're going to go back. Oh no, I actually already went back to master. I must have been one step ahead of myself. So we'll pick something random from this list. It's possible that this isn't 100% up to date, but we'll try it. So let's look for useless assignments. So I can't see it. So I suspect that means that it has been resolved. Let's pick another one. That looks like a good one. So essentially, a command's been run at some point. Let's say when this new COP, this new linting rule was introduced to say, hey, we haven't got the time to fix these 113 violations before enabling the rule. We want to enable the rule so we don't introduce any new violations, and then we can clean this up at a later date. But what we haven't got around to doing is cleaning that up at a later date. So, but it's a great, and these ones all specifically are auto-correctable as well. So I'm going to try my best to follow the instructions here. So I've picked a cop. I'm not going to create my branch because I'm not going to push it, but it's even giving you a suggestion for a name there. So using the issue number and then fix and then the cop that you're fixing or the rule. And it's then to delete the rule from the corresponding to-do YAML file. So with this, I would probably be too scared and not advise that we make 113 changes in a single MR. So I might break this up into maybe like 5 merge requests.
Okay.
So what I would say is please only pick one of these up if you do pick one up, but it's fine to raise multiple merge requests to resolve it, if that makes sense. So there's 80 entries or 100 entries and you need to raise 4 merge requests, and that's fine. But once you pick one up, move on and find something different. So we'll just take about 20 of these and we'll say, see you later. We don't want to exclude those anymore. So what do we have to do now? So we need to run this autocorrect command. So we'll do that. And we need to provide the name of the rule. So it's rouse file path. And see what it does.
See what it does.
Yeah, keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Now, have you created the new issue yet, Eddie?
Oh,
now, while we're waiting for the cogs to work, would be a good opportunity to.
Do you think so? I was just looking and I was just seeing Alina has got 6 ta-da kind of reactions. So I love the support from the community. That's amazing. Awesome. And I did ask Alina in the chat. What is she looking at? What she got her eye on? And there's so many awesome things there. So that's awesome. Oh, I should write. Actually, it was 200 points, wasn't it? Let me write it down so people can remember.
Yes.
Congrats on winning 200 points to the swag store, to the GitLab swag store. And I'll put the link in. Actually, there we go.
Thank you.
So I haven't created the next one yet. Should I create it already? Should I do it?
I think so, because that way people can start adding their names on.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay. So we'll say giveaway. Well, what question could we ask them? Giveaway 2. What question can we ask?
We didn't ask them a question in the first one. I liked your suggestion around like your favorite feature, especially as we opened up and shared ours, right?
Yes, so that was really good, I think. And I loved seeing what people had said. Some people said duo. Some people said other things, which I think was great. What question can we ask for this one? Make it different if we can. What do you think?
Yeah.
What is the question? Any ideas, anyone? Write in the chat. I could ask this more of a straightforward question, like, do you host your projects on GitLab? Or
yeah, maybe it is just have you used
GitLab?
Yeah, so I know some said that this was like they just signed up and created an account to comment on this, but it's a good opportunity to ask, if someone's come across it and maybe like if they've used it for business or pleasure, I guess you might have used it at work, or maybe an open source project that you work on at home.
Okay, I've written comment to enter the giveaway. Have you used GitLab before for personal or work? Question mark. Please specify. Specify. There we go. Okay, let's create the issue. Giveaway 2. Actually, I should put the swag store in the description. It'll be easier. Edit. Here we go. Winner will get 200 points to the swag store. So there we go. Okay, save changes. Here we go. I'll share this in the chat for people to enter. Oh, okay, that's a really good question from Afsal. I hope I pronounced it okay. I will do this for the 3rd giveaway, I think. I will change it slightly though and say, what is your favorite open source project on GitLab?
Awesome.
I think that would be a great question for the next one. Okay, so
Yeah, absolutely.
let me make a note of that. What is your giveaway 3? Question will be, what is your favorite open source project on GitLab? And please share a URL as well. Please share. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to the answer to this one. Okay, so that's for later. I've just made a note in the chat, so you all can have a think and do a bit of research as well. Oh, I see some more ideas coming in for questions as well. How long did you sign up for GitLab? Thank you for all the ideas, everyone. That's awesome. When I see people commenting. Okay, cool. Right, should I pass has yours finished, Lee? Should I pass it back to you?
Yeah, it has indeed. Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, Eddie.
Green's all yours.
Excellent. So you should see the output now. The RubuCop has checked all the files, and yeah, it looks like it's done exactly as we expected. We've now got 22 changed files.
Okay.
And I've just picked a random one here, and I can kind of see what it's done, what it's changed. So, you know, we almost don't need to worry too much about that, because the idea is the rule was auto-correctable, and it has been auto-corrected. But yeah, I can see how simple the change is. You know, it's where before I guess we were kind of calling a method within a method almost. Now there's a way to simplify that. So these have all been simplified. At this point, if I wanted to, I could create my branch, push my branch up, create my merge request, and tell the bot it's ready for review. But as I say, I'm gonna save this one. So any of you feel free to pick this or any of the other ones up off of the RubuCop list. And as I say, this is a great way. You will need to get a development environment set up in order to do this. And the documentation, I'll jump back to tutorial. And GDK in a box is probably the simplest way at the moment. We've got a pre-made virtual machine.
Okay.
You can download, it's all installed and set up and ready to rock. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous, the standalone one maybe is a bit more performant, but you do have to install it on your local machine. So you have to get your kind of, the prerequisites, like ASDF needs to be installed, etc.
Got you.
But yeah, that's we've done a front end fix change and raised the merge request. That's a nice back end one where I won't raise the merge request. So yeah, that's a good start, I think.
I think it's great that you've shown both front end and back end, and also the back end ones. It's great that you're saying do share them out between people, like pick one off the list. Also showed everyone that you're actually running a command to fix it. You got to check it, make sure it's okay, but it's not massively involved. Like people don't have to spend like a whole day doing it, which I think is
yeah. We have this kind of challenge at the moment where like onboarding a new contributor is quite challenging, because getting the development environment set up isn't straight. It takes a bit of time, and you have to read through the instructions. You don't need to get access to the community forks, but we recommend that you do it. There's a bunch of steps, and trying to do everything at once, as well as learning the GitLab code base, learning the merge request process, doing everything at once is a bit much. So if we can make it as simple as possible, use the web IDE for your first contribution. Don't worry about getting a development environment set up. That will get you a bit more familiar with the code base and the merge request process. Then maybe use Gitpod, where you don't need to set your development environment up locally. It will automatically be spun up in the cloud. This time, maybe you fancy doing a JavaScript, like a small change like we did there, moving a button from the left to the right or vice versa. Keep it really simple. And yeah, then that's the way to kind of build up the confidence, and then get to a point where you can sort of tackle either issues, bugbears, gripes, itches, we like to call them, that you may want to scratch, or diving in So the guide recommends, so where do we go? Contribute issues. Somewhere we have something about finding issues. So choose or create an issue to work on. And we talk about issues with the quick win label, which are generally the ones that are quite good to start with. We've got plenty of those, and again, broken down into back end, front end, and documentation. Or if you really want to do it, you can filter further to say, well, I specifically want one within the like CI/CD or service desk or whatever area of the system you want it to be. So
nice.
There's plenty of opportunities to get started, and yeah, Discord I can't kind of stress enough. Like the community there is awesome. We tried various platforms in the past for our kind of contributor community, and none of them really took up. A community member started our Discord community, awesome. And it's just so naturally sort of grown and grown and grown. Again, it's that kind of openness and transparency that's allowed us to kind of say, like, hey, great, like if Discord's what everyone wants to use, let's use it.
Absolutely. How long has the Discord been around for?
That's a great question. I think it's probably about a couple of years now. Okay. Nice. But yeah, it just kind of gained that momentum really naturally, where before we were really trying to funnel people to whatever it might have been before. I can't even remember what it was, but I know there was an IRC channel like back in the day.
Wow, okay.
It's insane. Like, but yeah, Discord's great.
It is. It's a bit scary at first, I think, because it's so flexible and customizable. It's a little bit confusing, but once you get into it, I agree with Alex that the experience is amazing. I think it's got a slightly higher, like kind of learning curve a little bit, but it's just once you pass that kind of initial scariness, let's say, it is just amazing, really, really amazing.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got some comments. Let's have a look at some of the comments. So the question was for giveaway 2 was, do you use GitLab for personal or work? And some people have said, I see we've got websites are personal. Melanie signed up for GitLab today. Hugo's site as well, personal.
Perfect. So I guess they're all using GitLab Pages, which is nice. What I was somewhat hinting at earlier on about if you get to a stage where you're ready to deploy, you may already have it in your GitHub repo, I guess, your spin the wheel. But if you
no, that's solely on GitLab, that project.
Love it. So perfect.
Solely on GitLab.
In which case, GitLab Pages is great. Essentially it's a static site, right? So you can have it deployed to GitLab Pages, and people can use it once you got your little form created.
That sounds good. And some people have joined today as well and just signed up today. Oh, I'm glad I was, part of that process. First time using it. Okay, cool. Sign up today. And then Alex, bigger team. Yeah, we used GitLab when I worked when I contracted at NatWest. For those of you who don't know NatWest, it's a UK kind of brick and mortar bank, so an actual old school bank. We use GitLab for our R&D projects, all our projects actually. So so this is good. Looks good. Okay, so I'm giving people a few more minutes. I know Chris joined late, and I wanted to give Chris a few minutes to comment as well, so he can be part of the giveaway. Oh, they did a GitLab. Afsal, if I pronounce your name okay. So they did a contribution and they linked it. I love that, and it says merch.
Perfect, amazing. Awesome. That's great. I'll check that out later on.
That's so cool. Okay, just signed up today. Okay, let's have a look. Right. Shall we what number is it? Number 8. Okay, number 8, issue 8. Can't wait to get a form on this. The more I use this, the more I actually want to like improve it and deploy it, like you said, sort of thing.
At least you're on the ball. Like I know if you left me in charge, I'd have rerun it for number 7 or something, and then realised watching the stream back tomorrow.
Oh yes, it would have been very embarrassing. See, having a form, and also what I feel bad now is I have to go to the tab it's already reloaded because I've changed code, and it's already kind of picked a winner, but I want to ignore that so we can watch it like cycle through. So that's why I say to everyone, when I flip to that tab, ignore who it's highlighted. We're going to run it again. So again, a form will just make so much more sense. And I've been learning over the last few months with my latest project, about the latest app router on Next.js and all those fundamental massive changes and server-side actions and stuff. So I should be able to put a form on this quite quickly. Is the point I'm trying to make. So right, let me go here and refresh, and then we'll have a drum roll. I noticed Lee didn't comment this time, so there's one less.
I can't win. I'd feel guilty,
And we have a winner, Abhishek. Congratulations. Let me take a screenshot. Actually, I should also display the issue number at the top of this list. So therefore, I know that it has been the right issue and not the wrong issue. I know it's the right one because Krish is on here and they weren't on here on the previous one. So I know that's the case, but I think we should display it as well. Right. So it was Abhishek, which is here. So congratulations. You've just signed up and you've just won. So congrats. And I will put the screenshot at the top as well this time. Here we go. There we go. Perfect. Congratulations. Hopefully we'll get a few people hitting. Oh yeah, 2 people now. Cool. Kutesa, thank you so much for supporting. 3 coming in. Yes, coming in real time. Alex as well. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, I'm seeing the chat. Can you share a GitLab Discord link? Oh, thank you, Praduma, as well for sharing that. Divya, so you've got that. Awesome. Yeah, I think people aren't aware of so many features that are available in GitLab. Again, when I was using GitLab a couple of months ago, when I started using it more and more, to see the service desk and then to click on it, and Lee just mentioned the CRM today. I was like, what? There's that also. I think there's just so much there that we're just unaware of it. And I love it how it's all in one place. It's just jumping around from different third-party tools. I really don't like that. I think it's, I know some of them can integrate, I'm doing air quotes, but just having it all in one place, being native is just so important. So yes, lots of congratulations coming out for Abhishek now as well. Awesome. You are welcome. Loads of messages. Okay. Divya, how to contribute. We've shown the front end and the back end contribution already, so you can go rewatch the live stream afterwards. It will be on my channel and remain on my channel. If you close the tab though after this live stream, YouTube will hide it for about 12 hours while it does all the rendering of the different resolutions. So keep it open or copy the link somewhere. Otherwise, come back 12 hours later and it will be back on my channel as well. I don't think we're going to ask Lee to do another contribution, as he's been going for an hour and a half, and I think it is quite tiring. And we do have another giveaway to do as well. So thank you so much. I'm glad you're a newbie. GitLab is encouraging people to contribute. They've got so many not good first issues. What did you call it? Quick wins?
Quick wins, we're calling them, again, like trying to align on the terminology a bit. I think we used to use something like low-hanging fruit, but then that doesn't mean something to everyone. Yes. So yeah, we've got quick wins and plenty of them.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay, so and Divya says sure, they'll go back and watch the live stream. Awesome. Okay, what else should we talk about, Lee, before we do the third giveaway? We can't just do the third giveaway straight after the second giveaway. What can we say? What do you want to talk about?
That's a great question. I want to have a look back to the community forks that I was talking about earlier on, because I think that it's an interesting journey that we kind of went through in terms of, so let me search GitLab community forks and blog and see if I can actually find, that's what I'm looking for.
Perfect.
So essentially, you have a certain, what are we going to call them, like Limits, limits is probably fair. So with a free GitLab account, then your repository size is limited, the amount of CI you can do is limited, and because the GitLab repository, although it's public, it's kind of like read only, view only to members of the public. So in order to contribute in the past, you would have needed to create your own fork. You can still do that if you want, but it means it's going to kind of consume your sort of allocation, your space, your CI minutes. Some of the pipeline magic won't actually work as well because we've configured the community forks with certain like CI tokens, like variables, API access, other automations that just make it better and easier. You can collaborate on the community fork. So I'm hoping we can pick a few of the things here. So collaborate. So we talked before about if there's an issue you want to work on and somebody's already started working on that. It doesn't mean you can't do it. And that's really kind of emphasized here. Before, if it was on that kind of private fork, then right, they could give you access, but now we're collaborating on a communal fork. So you don't need to ask someone. It might be they started work on a merge request and maybe they've got a new job, new email address, and they're not contributing anymore. So you can just kind of pick up where they left off. Or maybe they are still contributing, but it's a bigger piece of work and you want to kind of work together. So all of that's kind of built into the community forks there. So you don't need to create your own personal fork. Danger and all the automations and all the bots work, and the mirroring is great as well. So if you've got your own personal fork, then you're going to need to rebase that every so often to keep it up to date with the upstream, the canonical project, but you won't need to do that with the community fork. So all of that's kind of baked in. That's
super interesting.
And what we've, in the last week or so, and this is like, I may be a little sad, but I'm really excited by some of the changes we've made. So you used to request access to the community forks, and we either approved those requests or we would reach out and create an issue because we didn't know enough. Like if someone's just signed up, you haven't commented on any issues, you haven't created any issues, we kind of don't know anything about you. So we just kind of want to learn a bit more, and we would create an issue and we would ask you a few questions. But now everyone that requests access, we create an onboarding issue for. And it's a lovely little checklist of, links to the Discord, the tutorial that we've touched on already, the community pairing sessions we've talked about today, quick win issues. So everything that we've kind of been talking about. And yeah, like it kind of, it all makes sense when you look at it, because this yes, like making a small typo fix in, you can contribute to our handbook. I haven't talked about that yet. We'll look at that in a minute, but making a small typo fix, you can use the web ID. It's fairly straightforward. But if you're talking about actually digging into the monolith, the big repo, and doing something in Ruby on Rails or JavaScript and setting up a development environment and doing the merge request and all that stuff, it can be a bit daunting. So by breaking it down into all these small little chunks and giving you the opportunity here to kind of engage with us, we can sort of hold your hand and lead you and pair and mentor, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm really excited by this that we started doing in the last week or two.
That's awesome. It's so new and fresh, but I love the support. That's really important. It's great to see how some people just need that little bit of support and then they just kind of run with it, and then just it's so good and so important.
We found that there's kind of this, I don't know, maybe reluctance to reach out. So you kind of maybe feel that you should be able to do this on your own. And that if you get stuck, you're more likely to probably just be like, oh well, I'll move on to something else. But with this, we're trying to invite as much as possible to say, look, there's big. Let's break it down, and we're here. We're here. Please do reach out. We'd love to help you, and we'd love to pair and answer your questions and help you get started.
That's awesome. I absolutely love that. Can you share a link for that, and I can then share it in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do, I'll share a link that will just show you these onboarding issues. But
Okay,
ultimately, one of the ones that I shared previously, trying to move my windows around. So the best one is the how to contribute the tutorial. And one of the first things, somewhere we had community forks, join the community. Yeah, one of the first links we say is to join or request access to the community forks. And as soon as you do that, as soon as you follow that link, the access request will kick off a process. It will take a couple of minutes, but that will create an onboarding issue for you, specifically for you. So that's where, we'll provide you all this information in this kind of perfectly broken down format. And you can reach out to us there or via the numerous links and other kind of mechanisms that it lists.
Cool. Sounds good. So before you share any more, I have a question for you. Should I create the next issue so people can start commenting? What do you think?
Absolutely. Definitely.
And
we have a question ready, right?
We have a question for me.
Sorry, a question for them to answer for our...
Yes, that's true. We have that already. I'm going to grab that. And also Abhishek asked the question, which was, what's the, I can't remember where it is. What's the process? So Lee has your GitLab username. So I'm guessing Lee will have your email and can get in touch with you. Is that correct?
So that's the beauty. We don't even need an email or won't use the email. So again, obviously you've got GDPR and other privacy concerns, especially as I'm in Europe, you're in Europe, obviously here, Eddie, and so we just basically will create a confidential issue assigned to you, which will tell you exactly how to claim, or first give you the opportunity to make a decision whether you prefer trees or swag, and then we go from there. But it's amazingly quick, I've found, even to get our swag, because it comes over from America, I believe, but based in London, and it's awesome.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to steal back the screen share.
Please do.
And let's create the last giveaway. So let's go to issues again. And we can say new issue, and we'll say giveaway 3. And the question for this one, to enter the giveaway, please comment below with, and the question was, what is your favorite open source GitLab repo? You must include a URL. GitLab URL.
So that's a good opportunity. I'm not going to pretend to know all of the specifics, but we basically give free licenses for open source projects. So there's the community edition of GitLab and the enterprise edition. The enterprise edition, we have the premium tier and the ultimate tier. And essentially, if you're running an open source project and you want to host it on GitLab, you can fill out a form and basically get an ultimate subscription for free to basically host your open source project on GitLab. So that's essentially what GitLab ourselves are doing. As crazy as it may sound, we're hosting our own open source project on our own open source platform using our open source license.
Nice. Okay, so people are starting to add GitLab. You can't use GitLab as your favorite open source project, because that's just too easy. It needs to be another one. So please edit your comment if you've said GitLab. I think that's too easy. I should have added that. It's an amazing project. Yes, I agree, but I think it's just too easy and too obvious. Okay, so we have got F-Droid. What's F-Droid? I have to click on that and find out.
It rings a bell. I'm gonna kick myself when we Android app. Yeah, are you an Apple diehard Apple?
I am. I am. I'm sad to say I am. I can't sugarcoat it in any shape or form. I am. So, Inkscape, nice. Wireshark is one of my favorites on GitLab. I actually wrote a blog post on it.
It's been a while since I've used it, but it used to be a great tool.
Yes, I agree. So I did a review of the kind of open sourceness. I'll share that in the chat if anyone does want to have a read of my first impressions.
Awesome.
And I actually started putting in like little snippets and clips, audio clips. You don't have to listen to them, but just more of like me getting passionate about something. Let's say. Oh, item 2, nice. GitLab itself, you can't use GitLab. GitLab is cheating. I agree, it's an amazing project, but you can't use GitLab. Please
Item's another great one. I use that. Yeah.
Apine. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that was on Alpine. Yep. Sorry, I said Alpine. So Olivia and Music Stories, please edit your comment to be something else. Oh yeah, Alpine as well by Alex. Mines, is that Mines? Oh, I didn't know about this one. Okay, interesting. I'll have to have a look into that. So I love it. You're discovering like new projects all the time. So interesting.
It's really interesting to me that it just kind of seems so logical that you would host an open source repo on an open source platform, if that makes sense. And some of the ones, I guess, maybe I've not even realized in the past, definitely a lot of the Linux distributions and that kind of thing are on there, but it's like, I've never actually gone to their repos before because I've just been maybe downloading the ISO or something to install on a machine. But
exactly. I should also. I just realized for next time, you can't say GitLab and you can't say one of your own repos because that's also I think. Okay, so some caveats for next time.
I almost feel like I should allow that because I quite like if somebody's got a repo. Like I'm really keen to see what some of you are potentially hosting on there. To be honest,
okay.
Like websites is a really cool one. Again, like that's something that call me naive, but until contributing to GitLab, I wasn't really familiar with static site generators like Hugo, right? So, I would have built a website probably in Notepad, but it's, the whole, not just, okay, great, I can use Hugo, but I can do it in a pipeline and I can add something like Markdown lint to ensure that I'm following like consistent standards and styles. And I can deploy it to GitLab pages and just all of this stuff that I learned just through kind of contributing to the project. So it was really cool because I took so much of it back as well and said, well, as a company, we could use that and it make this a lot easier. And obviously things like we have everything now, right? Infrastructure as code, Terraform and things like that is it's just remarkable. The whole DevOps, it constantly amazes me.
No, it's very, very true. Just everything as code is just so awesome. I think it's so useful because then it's just text based and then we can just easily review it. I think it's really important to see the changes.
And that again was probably the primary driver for moving like websites to GitLab and to Hugo and to GitLab Pages. Is it goes from did we change that or who changed that and why?
Yes, exactly.
to actually, like, I don't like that terminology, like, but actually if it goes through the normal code review process, the same as everything else, you get that opportunity to everyone can have their say and review it before it gets merged through. Yeah, I love it.
Exactly. Frankie's got a question. How about personally hosted GitLab instances? So if you're hosting GitLab yourself, as long as it's public and you can share a link to it, then I think that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's definitely what a few of the bigger open source projects are doing.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention too many names or any names because I don't want to give people their answers.
True. We'll give people a couple more minutes and then we'll do the drum roll and see who the last winner is for this live stream. And while we're giving people a couple more minutes, Frankie probably needs a moment to do that. What else should we discuss, Lee? So we've mentioned the hackathon. So those of you who have just joined, don't forget to join the GitLab Hackathon. I think it looks super interesting and everyone's been speaking highly about it. Do have a look. It starts in 4 days. Go read it. If you're a beginner, great. If you're not, also great. There's a whole range of different ways to get involved, which is awesome. It's another way to win more swag as well. And contributing, you get swag as well. It's just and don't forget, you can collaborate with the GitLab engineering team in their Discord. They do it every Tuesday. You can pair with them, and you can bring your questions as well that you have if you're trying to work on some things that's a little bit outside your comfort zone. They can help you on that.
So yeah, I wouldn't mind just touching on
sure.
as part of our role within the contributor success team. I mentioned earlier that contributions don't have to be code contributions, but that's kind of a stretch in a way, because you could sort of say, well, documentation is code, it's markdown, so that is a code contribution. But we do have translations and we do have a few other things. But something that I would love to kind of do in future, and I would love to receive these contributions before then, is what would I call it? Like a bit of curation or triaging or validation or that kind of thing. Because again, I genuinely believe, so part of our mission statement, our motto is that everyone can contribute. So, you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to know how to use, I don't know, Kubernetes or Ruby or whatever it might be. So going forward, we're definitely going to be looking more at how we can kind of recognize and reward other forms of contribution. So one of the things I've found in the past is when looking for, say, quick win issues or just looking at the backlog as a whole, as a community member, looking to contribute, that, I'll see an issue and I don't understand it. There's not enough information there, or I don't know how to access the screen that they're saying there's this bug on, or maybe there's one that I'm actually like, well, I've never noticed that before, and I look and the issue is like 7 years old, and actually there's a bug that's been fixed now.
Yeah.
So I would encourage anyone that maybe sort of isn't comfortable enough making code contributions to kind of maybe have a look at our backlog, look at some of the issues and see, like, can you recreate that problem? Can you recreate that bug? Or just have a look at the issues. And if you can help us to sort of, I don't know if triage or curate or validate, I think is probably the best one.
Yeah.
Especially like the older issues that are bug reports, the chances that those bugs still exist are, I don't want to say slim, but we also have duplicate issues. There's hundreds of thousands of issues in the GitLab issue tracker. So if you find any duplicates, then give us a shout a merge request coach, shout us on Discord, wherever it might be, ping us on the issue, and we'll resolve that. And I promise you in future that we're going to have a kind of more formal organized events for this kind of process, like issue bashing, whatever we want to call it. validation, and we're better going to be able to kind of recognize and reward that kind of thing. But for now, feel free to do it. Give us a shout, and we'll definitely recognize it.
Yeah, it's so important. I think people think it's all about changing kind of text or code, as it were, but there's so much project management that is needed. We have it on the GitLab projects, some people who aren't coders, but they're helping triage issue. This is a duplicate of this, or I can't replicate this. Can anyone else? No, I can't. Okay, or maybe it's specific to that user, or maybe it's been fixed, like you said. And so it just adds so much value to do it. Chris loves issue bashing.
So yeah, and again, we're open, we're transparent. So happy to share this with you. Happy to receive any feedback on it. Our bot, where we raised the merge request earlier, you will always notice whenever it kind of interacts with you that there's a link at the bottom to the code that delivered that automation. So you've always got the ability to have a look and understand it better if you're one of those tinkerers, or you're interested in fixing a typo in the bot message, or maybe the bot message was unclear and you think you can improve it. We're open to all that kind of thing, and the feedback, the more we get, the better, and the easier we can make it to contribute.
I love that. Absolutely love that. And Praduma has a really good question. Thoughts on hosting your own servers on GitLab? Sorry, do you mean hosting your own GitLab instances, Praduma, or is there something else that I'm unaware of that GitLab does, which is highly likely because GitLab does so many things?
Possible. I mean, I'm trying to think of I believe if you're on GitLab.com, there's a limit. If you've got a free repository, user limit and repo size limit. But if you host your own, then you don't have those limits. So that's one reason you might choose to. The other, obviously, like data protection and I think there's like government organizations using the platform, so they want to have like air-gapped instances and all kind of interesting stuff. And some people just like kind of that, what do you want to call it, owning their own data, if that's the right kind of like it's in my house, I kind of control it. And but I still maintain a couple of self-hosted instances.
Interesting.
So, I love it. And again, it's been a cool way to learn some of the different sort of technologies. One of them runs on a VM somewhere in a colo, and another one runs in AWS, in Docker. And it's like I'm a hardcore tech geek through and through. I love learning about all this stuff.
That's awesome. Did you have a Docker container, or Docker Compose, I should say? So therefore you can run it locally. It still does the whole what's the word? Hot reloads as you change code and stuff like that.
So there's Docker to run the production application, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking or thinking more about contributing, that's really interesting that you brought that up. So
I brought that up because of Praduma. Praduma for the Eddie Hub has not only Dockerized our apps for production, like you said, you host it in a container registry, but also doing it for Docker Compose. So therefore the person doesn't have to install Postgres or Mongo and a node and all this stuff. They just use Docker Compose, and it just sets up everything you need. The code is still on your local host, but as you make a change, it hot reloads into the container, and you can still go to the browser into localhost 3000, but you kind of don't care about all the multiple services that you need under the hood. They're all connected. And so I was wondering
so happy you raised that. So I've dropped a link in the private chat if you don't mind sort of resharing that, Eddie. So we talked about GDK in a box very briefly earlier on. So you had to install GDK locally, which, as you said, meant you needed Ruby on Rails or ASDF or all these dependencies, and it takes a lot of time. So my initial idea was, we considered containers, but there were some challenges. So we do have something called the GCK, the GitLab Container Kit, which, as you said, Docker Compose, lots of different bits and pieces. But I had issues with that because of GitLab's made up of probably hundreds of thousands of files, and I was having issues running it on a Mac because something called iNotify that I don't pretend to understand properly. The fact that I believe when you run Docker on a Mac or a container on a Mac, your Mac runs a virtual machine. Inside that virtual machine, it runs Linux and then, or
I think it
kernel.
used to, not anymore though.
Oh, there might be a more native way, but anyway, so I experimented with it a bit, didn't get very far, didn't really work. So I decided a virtual machine, a bit simpler. On a Mac, we use UTM. And on Windows, we use VirtualBox, and there's just a VM that's running Linux. It's got everything installed. You can download that VM, spin it up, and GitLab's immediately available.
Got you.
On a fast internet connection, a couple of minutes and you're flying. However, after we did that, someone else on my team, Raymond, we were already looking at how do we automate this creation of the VM. So that we can update it regularly, that kind of stuff. So he basically decided, so we've also got some kind of Docker image that runs in Gitpod, and a form of Docker image that runs in GitLab Workspaces or remote development, which is a similar sort of cloud development environment. So Raymond sort of was like, well, how can we kind of combine these? We've got this VM solution, and then we've got these containers already for running in cloud development environments. Surely we can get it running locally. So Raymond's basically taken the manual steps that we use to create the VM and move that to a Docker file. But rather than the GCK, which is a Docker Compose with maybe 15 different components, with like Postgres running in one, and Rails running in one, and Vite running in one, so many components. And we just didn't get on too well with that. I think we were trying to do that thing where you develop locally and you mount the file system. And that we didn't really get on very well with. So Raymond's built it the same way as the VM works. Instead of mounting it, you just SSH into it. So the whole container is one container that runs all of the elements required for GitLab: the database, Gitaly, the SSH server. Everything runs inside this single container. And you basically SSH into it, use VS Code, or I'm sure RubyMine and all the other tools support this kind of development via SSH. And you can just hit localhost 3000 and hit GitLab. Now I shared a link which I think you shared.
I did share it,
amazing. So that's basically a merge request that Raymond's raised to kind of merge this code, this kind of Docker file into our GitLab development kit. Once that's done, we need to do a bit of documentation. So if someone really fancies having a play around and you know your stuff and you're up for experimenting, please do. Otherwise, in a month or so, we'll have this nicely documented and we'll have people trying it out.
Well, Praduma is a Docker captain and is aware of the new features that are in Docker for mounting to make it so much easier. It's just all these things that I think takes time to filter down to the people who don't focus on those technologies, if that makes sense. So yes, if I didn't hear about it from Praduma, yes, in maybe 6 months or a year time, just seeing something in the content being created, I would eventually discover it. But when someone's living and breathing that technology, then they're aware of these latest features and the versions that you need and so forth, because someone was trying to use it and they're like, I can't get it to work. I say, you need to upgrade your Docker version because it's only recently come out and all the rest. So it's super interesting. And Praduma is saying would love to help with the Docker stuff. So
awesome. If you don't mind taking a look at that merge request as a starting point, is what's really cool about this as well is that is kind of aligning everything. So rather than us having oh, well, when it runs in Gitpod, we're using this Docker image. And when it runs in remote development workspace, it does this. And the closer we can get it to, one script to rule them all, like, then we'll be super happy. But
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Praduma was saying, by hosting our own servers, I was talking about this, and there's a link. I can't copy the link from StreamYard, but it's docs.gitlab.com, subscriptions, GitLab dedicated.
Yeah, so GitLab dedicated is reasonably new.
What is that?
And it's kind of, I'm going to say it's in the middle between GitLab.com, where you've got a single GitLab instance that's running like hundreds of thousands of individuals and companies. And then you've got GitLab self-hosted, where you do it yourself, and you've got your own instance. GitLab dedicated is your own instance, but we basically host and manage and maintain it. So it's at the moment, I think it's for like big customers, essentially. Like probably if you've got more like several thousand seats and you're using like maybe the ultimate tier or something, then you're a good candidate for dedicated. It basically means that you can probably have it in whatever region you want, so it might be faster. It'll conform to your local legislation and other bits and pieces, but you don't have to worry about managing the infrastructure. We'll do it for you.
Okay, awesome. Oh, and we've got GitLab Unfiltered here as well, answering some tough questions. So that's great. Don't know if that's an official account or not.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it certainly looks like it. I'm intrigued. I'll have to find out afterwards now.
Yeah, and it seems like an official answer as well. Like, really good. So thanks, Joshin, if I pronounced it okay, for the question. And thank you, GitLab, for answering. Okay, shall we do the giveaway? Are we ready, Lee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. Okay, perfect. Right. Let's head over here and refresh. I've changed the number, right? 9. I think we're good. Let's do it. Refresh. That's not meant to happen.
You've broken it.
Build up suspension a bit more. Okay. Giveaway 3 is number 9. Number 9. I saved it. And there's no error or anything. It just died. I'll stop it and start again. I don't know. What did I break? That's kind of strange. Nothing's different. It was the same as before.
Have a look at the console or the network tab. That's bound to highlight. There's
the
JavaScript's exploding, or
that's so strange.
Or the API call is unhappy for some reason, I reckon.
Let's have a look.
Hi, Nick. Nick's revealed himself, so it was Nick that responded to.
Oh, hey, Nick. Okay.
So I remember now that when it looks like the chat's connected to YouTube, and in YouTube we have multiple identities, if that makes sense. Did you see an error or anything?
No, nothing at all. I might wrap this in a try catch just to see if something's if not bubbling up. It should bubble up, but I don't know if that's it. That's strange. You're working this whole time. I just want to check that nothing else has started running on my computer that's taking that port or anything. No, because it would say all looks good, because I left it open too long. But we've definitely I haven't deleted this. Number 9 is still there. It looks good. We've still got the same replies. That all looks fine. I'll just wrap it in a try catch, I think. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to debug this. I don't think everyone wants to watch me debug it. If Lee, you want to demo anything else, I can give you the screen share back.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm sure I must have something that
you can go through. That's a bit more interesting than me debugging. So let me know when you want the screen share back.
Yeah, I'll just bring up the issue list quickly, and I'll find something to to look at.
Yeah, so I'll wrap. I'm sure it's going to be maybe a rate limit I've hit. I don't know because I haven't
Pretty
used it that
generous,
much.
to be honest.
Yeah, so let's. I look forward to sharing the result with people to find out why it hasn't happened. So let me see. What do I want to return? Oh wait. So okay, return comment.
I'm kind of tempted to like help debug this problem.
Oh,
now,
okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds
it's
good.
intriguing me.
Oh, not comments. Let comments.
Did you see in the network tab the API call being made? Or
no, because it's on the server side, so you won't see it. So yes, it's a little bit.
So I wonder if you will. Maybe you won't be able to host this using like Pages or something like that. If it's actually got a server, I assumed that you were doing this client side.
I mean, I could change it. I could put I could put use client at the top, but the problem is the token is a private token, and I don't want anyone.
Well, it's a public issue, so you won't need a token.
Okay, interesting. That's true.
Yeah, because that's exactly with the merge request leaderboard. It's it just uses public API and no tokens needed.
Okay, that's
again, I shouldn't have thrown you a curveball there, but yeah, it does. If it makes life easier at some point, if you are looking to deploy it and you don't need a back end as such.
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting to see there's different ways we could host it. So I don't think there's an error coming. There's no exception being thrown. It's saying there's no results. So that's quite interesting. Let me console log the response, and we can just see a little bit more about it. Here we go. It might be a bit small for people. I don't know if it's readable or not. Maybe a bit bigger.
Full screen.
Here we go. So what did we get? What is the status code? Does anyone see the error? Do shout in the chat.
It looks like a success, right?
Status 200. Seems happy with it. It got no results. So I don't think there's anything actually. Well, we've been using it this whole live stream, so it has been working. So why would that?
You should just be able to copy that URL into your browser, right? And see what. Obviously, you'll need to replace the.
Yeah. Okay, that's a fair point. Let's try that. So the number was that.
I'm almost tempted to suggest maybe the next thing we do is remove the token.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I can't see how that's magically going to fix it, but
no, it has got a result.
You're getting data back there, right? So,
yeah, it looks good. I mean, and so that works. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe remove the. I can't see why the token would have mystically vanished from your
environment.
Yeah, exactly. But
let's see. Okay, why doesn't it like that? It says it's getting no data.
Is it because you pass in an empty object to fetch? Like, do you need to comment out like the second argument altogether?
Let me just refresh that and just okay. Well, let me remove that. Oh no, 401. I do get permission denied.
So why would it do 401 when you? It's not private, isn't it? That's really
no,
weird.
It's public. I'll put that back in. Let me clear that and try again.
Try and hit the API myself.
I see people having chats in conversations in the chat. That's awesome. I love it. Any suggestions? I know you're all waiting for the giveaway as well. So any suggestions on what we can do? Do you get involved? Is this aborted? No. It all looks okay, I think. Just no results. Comments is empty. Oh no, I think I can remove that one actually because it should be okay. No, there's no error. I don't think I've missed anything. Let me clear that again and just try. Response. No. It's so strange. And what does it? Yeah, it is an array. It does come back with an array, so that's what I thought. And data is empty. Why would that be? I can copy it to Chrome actually, where I can actually see the data, but it should be the same structure as everything else. So let me have a look.
It's definitely like I can view that issue public. Like I don't need to be logged in or anything. So API.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I can hit that endpoint without including an auth header. I can do it in an anonymous.
Can you do it in private browsing? Because in my private browsing, I got 401.
Let me. No, it worked fine for me. Let me just try it in a completely different browser like Firefox or something.
Frankie says restart the service. I did restart the app. Let me. I can try it again. There's no harm in doing that. Oh, we should use GitLab Duo. That's true.
The problem is it hasn't really got any information to diagnose it based on. But yeah, I can hit it in a completely separate browser, completely private. So you definitely shouldn't need a header.
That is strange. I mean, I can always add, I suppose, because the page is blank because I've got nothing else appearing apart from the list. I mean, I could always add a H2 and we could say issue number, and then I could put in something like this. We've got issue ID, so I can do issue ID. So we can see it's issue number 9, so that looks good. So that we know the app isn't like suddenly exploding, it is running that. And then we could also do the length, right? We know how long it is, unique authors, issue number with unique authors of, and then I could do .length, save. And it just says 0. So that's really, really strange. Why we're not getting an error. So if I bring this back up, let me just close that, clear that, sorry, refresh it. It's a 200.
Can you go back to the code for a second?
Yeah, of course. And 9 is the correct number.
58236.
That's the only thing I've been changing is the issue number.
Yeah, I was just checking the project ID, but that looks perfect.
And it is 9. I'm not like. I'm going to go back to 8 and just see if that works. So remember, this is not the test, everyone. I'm going back to the previous issue.
Yeah.
So don't get confused. But that was working. Yes. So 8 works with 18 people. So why doesn't 9 work? That's an interesting one. Okay. Real life debugging, as someone mentioned in the chat, Alina. Yes, see, Afzal says, can we do it for issue 8? Yes, so good call. We went back to 8 and it worked fine. Have you turned it off and on again? Thanks, Nick. Yeah, we did. I stopped and started it. I'm going to remove this console of the response because it's quite big.
This is absolutely bonkers.
And it gets no results. But for 8 it works. So.
But when you put it in your browser, you got the results fine.
Yes,
right?
I did. The results are here. Oh, wait a second. What does it say? It is a real response. It's hard for me to read this. It's not an error, is it? Web URL. These are the usernames, so these are correct. No, but only. It looks like it's not complete. Wait a second. Let me refresh it. Yes. Okay. There is a proper response because you've got different usernames on here as well. Yes, and I can see these GitLab extension and stuff. So yeah, okay. So those are the comments. So it is working, and it worked for 8, but didn't work for 9.
So we can do something old school if you want. It's not going to fix our problem immediately, but okay. I think if you right click and inspect, like bring up the dev tools.
On which one? Sorry, on
the API response that you've got on the other tab.
Okay, so I'll go back to 9. Here we go. Yeah, dev tools.
We go old school. And then I think on the network tab, now Nick's covering it, so I can't quite see it at the moment. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, let me remove that.
It's all right.
Sorry, my bad. Let's bring us over.
And now we're that's it.
We're getting there.
If you no, I can't quite see what tab.
Let me make it bigger. And then I see some nice comments in the chat. Chris is saying maybe there's a new issue, so maybe it's 10. No, it's definitely 9. I can see it here. I did check that, but thank you so much for pointing that out, because that's something I would have missed. Maybe I did something and we skipped a number, but it definitely says 9.
It's bizarre. It's like you've been blocked from this issue for some bizarre reason.
Yeah, let me see. So this is what we're seeing.
So what I see is I can never remember. So you got preview. Which browser are you using? Safari. So in mine, in Chrome, it collapses like the nodes.
Okay,
so we could have blindly picked a node, if that makes sense. That would be our sort of version, our manual version of your roulette wheel, essentially. But yours is a bit trickier because it hasn't collapsed them, so you can see what you're picking.
Yeah, see body Wiresharks. It's definitely the right results. And that's just so strange how 8 still works and 9 doesn't. I mean, I might do something really crazy and just jump to 10, but obviously it's not going to work because it's number 9. Or should we do something? What do you think about this, Lee? We create a new issue and ask everyone to comment again, just with hello, and then we try that. What do you think? Just for the sake of time, because you've been going for over 2 hours.
I'm trying to think of another way that might work. Do you have another project to make? Because you can move an issue. So you could move this issue in the hope that that, as if by magic, when you move it into its new location.
I'm just checking there was nothing else down the side that needed to get changed. No, it looks very similar. Okay, let me just do giveaway 3 again, and then that will also, if anyone's left, then they won't be re-entered the competition. They need to be here to win. So that will give the people who are still here and still supporting us more of a chance to win, because I'm guessing there'll be probably less than 18 people or 17 people, however many they're here. So I'm going to create a new issue.
I can see that you're going to be up all night now.
Yes.
Trying to figure out
why it's not happening. Yeah, yes,
absolutely.
I like this. Similar issues. Oh, that's really clever. I like that. Okay, comment to enter the 3rd and last giveaway. I'm not going to ask a question or anything like that. We'll keep it super simple for everyone. So this is number 10. I'm going to share it in the chat. Let's go. Oh, there's a duplicate command. Nick's now showing off. Okay, interesting. I'll try that next time. So thank you so much, Nick. I love that.
Well, duplicate doesn't do what you think it does, I don't think. Duplicate will close an issue and mark it as a duplicate of another issue. It doesn't duplicate the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's to basically say like, oh yeah, this is a duplicate of something else, and it will close it, and it will link them in a way that where it's closed, you can click and it will click through to the other.
I see. Issue. Got you. Okay, I'm just going to go back to this page now and check it, but it's not the giveaway yet. So if people are still commenting, don't worry. I just want to see if it's working. So yes.
Yeah. So, that is absolutely.
We need to debug. I need closure. Like I need to know why poor number 9 is not working. So I'm going to go to 9. And I'm going to close it as well to avoid confusion. So
I'm just wondering if why it would have broken in the first place. But
issue.
There wouldn't be any caching going on in whatever. Was it React that you've used there, Eddie? Or
Yeah, Next.js.
Next.js.
But caching doesn't happen for any of the other issues. And just now you'll see that
Yeah,
this will have a lower number, and now when we refresh it in a minute, it'll have a bigger number. So I don't think it's caching. It is a really, really strange one. I think it's definitely something going on with the fetch, but yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we can say disable caching, but I think in dev mode it's disabled already anyway. So I'm not running it in production. So I'm not really sure on that one. Yeah, that is definitely something I'm going to be trying to debug. Right, so we have 11 people. Okay, 12. Okay, cool. We'll give people a couple more minutes. Thank you so much, Kutesa, for saying it's a great event. I've had a great time. I've learned so much and really, really enjoyed it. Awesome. Okay, a few more coming in. Okay, let's see. Frankie, I like Frankie's comment. Number 9 is an anti-Easter egg. It's so true. That's brilliant. You know, they say number 13 is unlucky. I think from now on, number 9 is unlucky.
I think if it was not issue number 13, then I would totally excuse it. But
yeah, that would be funny and scary at the same time. Nick's saying there is a clone, a copy button. I think I did see
right.
There is a copy or clone. I did see that. I'm going to test that out another time as well. There's a reason why there's no Windows 9, no iPhone 9. It's true. Okay. Where can we follow along the post-stream debugging? Alex, thank you so much. It's a great question. I will log it in issue 9. Lucky issue 9. I'll log it there and see what happens. With notes. Okay, cool. I gotta learn these commands. Okay, thank you, Nick. I really appreciate it. Nick, do you have a link to the documentation on that? I can actually have a read through of what's available.
I will find one now.
Okay. I think we've got given enough time for people to comment. I think we're ready to go. I'll just share this link to the docs.
Yeah, you sort of saying that, and like I do love the quick actions. So one of the great things, obviously, you're really familiar with APIs, Eddie. So like we do so much automation, and whilst it's possible to use an API to close an issue, to assign an issue, to add a label to issue, there's loads of different API endpoints, let's call them. The quick actions are just make life so much easier, because essentially you can do anything and everything just using the Notes API. Rather than like, let's say our bot, our automation, we want to close an issue, add a label, set a milestone, do 3 or 4 things, rather than making 5 different API calls and having to learn them and figure them all out, and that we can just add a note, and we can use these quick commands, quick actions, all in one comment, and it all just, one endpoint, one command. It just makes life so much easier. I use them all the time in automations, as well as our templates. So merge request templates, issue templates. We can make sure that all new merge requests have certain labels or issues or whatever. So yeah, I do love the quick actions.
I'm gonna have to try out those quick actions. I haven't tried them yet. Okay, let's go. Right, numbers lower than the last issue. I think that's good, because a lot of people have well, not a lot of people, some people have left, and then we get to give the people who are still here more of a chance to win. So I'm going to switch over to the tab and let me refresh, because we've added more numbers. Let's go. That looks a bit short, doesn't it?
I think it's caching,
That looks too short. You might be right. But I thought in dev mode it didn't cache.
It was doing it earlier, but
no, it wasn't. Okay, so let's get, where's that console log? Here we go. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let me just check the Next.js, but I wasn't doing it earlier. That is so strange. Next.js fetch caching, because it doesn't do it in dev mode. Let me see. Here we go. Let me remind myself of the caching, because it has changed recently. If anyone knows the answer in the chat, let us know. The plot thickens. Yes, because number didn't increase. when I refresh the page. So it does look like it's caching, but I had
May
no
have,
caching issues in dev mode. You can turn it off. I can actually use Duo. What am I talking about? I can use Duo for this.
Great shout.
I do forget sometimes. So let me, I can ask the question, or I could also highlight it, and I could say refactor, disable Next.js caching for the fetch.
Now, assuming it doesn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not clever enough. There is a sneaky way that we can disable the caching. So,
okay, give me 2 secs.
Equals. So you can, instead of a project ID, you can actually use the path to the project. So if it's not really easy to disable caching, which I hope it will be, and I hope Duo is telling us the answer, then we can replace the project. Go on.
No, carry on. You carry on. Sorry.
I was going to say we could just replace the project ID with the project path, which I've dropped into our private chat there. If the solution, but if Duo has just given us a one-line answer, then.
Got you. Well, I think it just conflicted with one of the other plugins I had. So, here we go. I do a chat to come back. Okay, let me do it again.
Oh, cool.
I had installed some new plugins today, and I think, yeah, you can see it's trying to do stuff in the background. I should disable those ones. Refactor, disable fetch cache for Next.js. Let's have a look. Here we go. That's better.
Can you try without the refactor?
Okay.
Although I'm not sure if that error code is just it hasn't worked, but just try asking it how to disable fetch cache for Next.js.
Okay, without.
I'm not sure. You possibly have used it a little bit more than me. I've only ever used refactor on its own, if that makes sense, to just say, hey, can you refactor this for me? But
okay. No, I've used it with a description, and it's
you have? Okay.
super useful. Yeah, I love it. But like I said, I think it might be conflicting with some other plugins I've got, which might be an issue. How to disable Next.js fetch cache. Someone's probably written it in the chat. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, Alex has got a great idea. Just a BS query string at the end. It's so true.
Yeah.
That's the old school. I love that one. Yeah, it's true. It's like a timestamp or whatever. It just changes every time.
That's essentially what my kind of hack is. Just use project ID user.
So yes, but let's try and do it properly. We'll just spend a moment doing it. If we can't do it, then we'll what do you call it?
Yeah, and I like afterwards. I like we can put 9 back in to see if it works. Like
yes, that's true. It's saying force dynamic, but that's usually on the API, so that's not quite what I want.
Frankie's shared an option cache no store, so maybe we give that a try.
Oh yeah, I did see that here at the top as well, somewhere. Let me see. No store.
Oh yeah, and Duo suggested that as well, so we could give that.
Oh yeah, here it is. You're right. I thought I saw it somewhere a moment ago. Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's just going to be an object after the thing. Okay. Let me just minimize that to get a bit more real estate. So I've got an object.
Yeah, alongside the head. Yeah, exactly. Come on, drum roll again.
The pressure. Where's my terminal gone? Let me close.
I think you've ended up with another Z8 chat. You can see you got 2.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay. Right. Oh, is it not running anymore? npm run dev.
You probably closed it and open it because because you were down to that switching it off and on again.
Yes. Okay, so we should have 12 results, not the 6 that we had before. Okay.
Yeah.
14. And it's issue number 10, so that's correct. And is it 14? Does that not sound right? 12 plus 4
Participants.
more. I think that's about right. Okay. And Vargas, hope I pronounced that right, is the winner.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And thank you for all sticking with us on our debugging journey there.
Yes, we got there. So let me put a screenshot in and do that. Okay. It was the caching, but I've never had a caching issue in dev mode. So that's actually quite interesting. What I usually do is then before I commit it and push it, I'll do a build and run it and see if I have a caching issue that I need to change it and all the rest. So that was just so interesting that in dev mode we had that.
At least we've fixed the bug before you deploy this to production, right, Eddie?
Yes, it's true. Okay, so congrats. And I will say congratulations as well. Congrats.
Okay. So we're being told to test issue 9 already.
Yes. Okay. The pressure's on. Right. So let's go back to 9 and let's just have a look. So I think it's about 18 people. Oh, I did close it. Let me see. I think it's about 18. And let's switch it back to 9 and have a look. Hit save. Yeah. 9 with, okay, 16 people. Oh, I need to, do a proper refresh because the green's still highlighted. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. There was the issue. Yeah. It was the caching. But like I said, we didn't have that before. So
I'm glad my gut was that was my gut instinct.
Good call. Mystery solved. Exactly.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Eddie, and thanks everyone for joining us. Hackathon, as a reminder, everyone kicks off on Monday. And
I'll share that in the chat as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you to GitLab for taking everyone on this journey to contribute to a real-world open source project, and the amazing giveaways that you have given. I think is just really generous of GitLab. And thank you, Lee, for taking 2.5 hours.
Anytime, we'll be doing another one at some point in the future. So I look forward to the next one.
I can't wait. So thank you so much. And Ola's saying now Alex can sleep. Yes, me too. Congratulations to all the winners. And thank you all so much for joining. It's been super amazing. Don't forget, do join GitLab's Discord. They have their weekly kind of pairing sessions. There's just so much going on. There's so much collaboration, and they're all supporting each other. You get to geek out with people like Lee and everyone else in the team. So go join that. I'm in there as well, so hopefully I will see you all there, and I can't wait. Thank you so much, and wow, real world debugging session as well. Lee, if you could stay on for one more minute after the live stream, I can thank you personally. Everyone, again, thank you so much. And we look forward to geeking out again soon. Bye, everyone.
See you later.